Today's video is all about using video effectively. And if you're like me, you recognize how engaging video content can be, and you might even be like me, occasionally getting on social media and just going through reels and things like that, and before you know it, you've wasted all kinds of time because it's so engaging and people like them. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg had said that if he had his preference, he would eliminate all other types of content on social media except video. So we know how powerful video can be. But if you're like me, you also probably get concerned about the content that you're producing, what you look like on video. You have all kinds of concerns. So what I wanted to do is spend a few minutes today and just go over some things that you can do to create great video content and get more engagement on your social media platforms using video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the type of content you can produce. Think of 3 E's: educating, entertaining, and elevating. And we're going to take just a few minutes to go over each one of those things. And if you have a combination of all 3 things on your social media channels, you're going to get an awful lot of engagement on that. So here is an example of somebody who is educating people through video. After the video, or the ad.
Buying a home is an exciting time in your life, and buying your first home is a great accomplishment. However, there are some things to be aware of so you don't get buyer's remorse. How's it going, everyone? Matt Layton, and welcome to the video. Hey, if this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you always stay up to date on the latest real estate video. Today's video is going to be all about first-time home buyers. You know, first-time home buyers get pulled in all sorts of different directions from parents, neighbors, friends, siblings, and others on the home buying process. You know, there's a lot of noise out there. So I thought it'd be really beneficial for you if I came up with a list of 9 items, 9 mistakes that first-time home buyers are making in hopes that you can avoid making these mistakes. So that means...
Okay, so this is a great example of content that helps educate people. He chose the content of first-time home buyers and 9 mistakes to avoid making. Obviously something that's going to get a lot of engagement because of the type of content. Now check out the views. 1 million plus views. So a lot of engagement on that video. So what are some things that you can do to find content about educating people? First thing I would do is get on Google, and I would start a search on Google. And that Google search would be how to buy a house. You know, start to fill it out and then look at what scrolls down in the auto-populated results underneath you. You're going to start to see some results that pop up. Those results come from the most popular search results in your geographic area based on your IP address. So write those down and then answer those questions and then create content with that exact wording and spelling in the title of the content. You will then find yourself getting way elevated in Google search results because of your video channel. Now, when I say video channel, I recommend you get a YouTube channel, create a channel based on your Gmail account that's related to business, and then create a channel just for that. Another way that you can get content is to go to a site like answerthepublic.com and then look at the content and create video content to answer those questions. So lots of ways to get content very quickly. Another example would be videos that entertain. Now, I do not want to spend a lot of time on this video because frankly it drives me crazy, but I'm going to show you just how powerful videos like this can be in terms of followers and engagement.
Yeah, should we put it here, girls?
Yep, right there.
All right, there it is.
Christmas tree decorating is gonna be a blast.
Okay, that's about as much as I can stand of that video. Now what I want you to notice though is this particular channel has 11 million subscribers and this video has 25 million views. It is adults talking like children playing with toys. And if you look here, there's tons of these videos that are like this. Apparently that engages a certain segment of the population. My 9-year-old daughter, for example. I'm not advocating that you go out and buy toys and play with them and put them on a video. But I'm saying that the entertainment scope will give you lots of engagement. So what are some things that you can produce that would be more geared towards real estate? Here's some examples. Local interest. There are 50,000 people a year moving into Las Vegas and they want to know about their town. Pick a business, pick a park, pick an outdoor area. There's lots of things that you can do, and then create a video about that particular thing. If you have certain things about your personality, your hobbies, your interests, create video content about that. For example, I used to ride a motorcycle. Now I ride a 3-wheel Can-Am, and I could produce videos just about that. There's lots of people that are interested in that. So you can create video content for those kinds of things. Another example would be video content that elevates people. Now this video link is no longer working, but basically it's a video about motivating people. Still videos, or still images, video, and text, motivating how to become better, things like that. So now that you have some content ideas, let's talk about stepping up your recording game. Now these instructional videos, I'm literally using the game function of my PC to record, and then I just have a microphone, and then you can see my screen. Okay. When I go to create video content that's on the fly, that's not at my desktop, I use my iPad. I have some other equipment that I can use to create the content. I have lighting equipment, I have a tripod, I have microphones, and I have a splitter from my phone. Plus, if I really wanted to get it going, I can use some video editing software like iMovie and VidChops. So let me give you an example of this equipment and show you how just inexpensive it can be. So here's an example of a lapel or a clip mic that you can plug into your phone, and next to it is a splitter, so you can actually have two and then interview people. You can get an inexpensive tripod, and then you can get some lighting equipment. So this is not terribly expensive and gets you a pretty good setup for what you need to do, at least for now. So what are ways, now that you have the equipment, that you can improve the video content you're producing? My first recommendation is for you to think like it's a show. So actually create a script, figure out what you're going to say ahead of time, and start off your video with APP, to agree, to promise, and then to preview. Start off the video with something like this. I'm sure you would all agree that what you're doing is just trying to get buy-in right away. And then the next thing, but what if I told you that? In other words, what if I promised to tell you that I'm going to solve that problem that I just brought up? And then preview. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 things that you need to think about after you have opened escrow on a new house. Okay? So here's an example of 5 subjects that every buyer wants to know that you can create videos on. What's the cost? What is it going to cost me to buy a house? There's the down payment, closing costs. What are all these costs that are involved? What are some problems that you face when you're buying a house? Comparing this versus that, condo or a townhouse versus a single family home. Compare those two. Reviews, reviewing certain either services or what have you. And then what are some best practices? Now if you're going to get really serious about video, just keep in mind that 1 minute of video can be up to an hour of editing time, because you can add visual graphics like thumbnails, there's cards at the beginning and ends of videos, there's all kinds of things you can do to add to your video content. But also remember that perfect is the enemy of good. In other words, if you spend all your time trying to be perfect, you're never going to have a video produced. So even though you might have some mistakes, put that content out there. 24 hours later, nobody's going to remember it anyway. Final steps to think about. Your action list. So the first thing you want to do is look at investing in equipment. And I already showed you some examples of inexpensive equipment that can get you started. Number 2, reverse engineer your content. Go on Google, start typing, see what starts to populate in that search bar underneath. And then write those down and create content based on those search results. Number 3, create scripts until you get really comfortable. And then number 4, make video production a part of your business plan. Put it into your weekly, monthly schedule. Once a week, once a day, twice a week, whatever. If you don't calendar it, it's not going to exist. If you have questions on content, on scripts you've created, equipment, what have you, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help you. You can call me at 702-769-1495 or paul@achieve.com. Hope this video helped.